everybody. It's time for the weekend video. So last Thursday we didn't do our regular formatted program with Barris and Mike. We gave you a special treat and let you hear something that nobody had heard before other than Kate Benham and me, and that was a recording that was transcribed for the making of Mike's book, One, the Gospel According to Mike. And there's something he mentions early on in that recording that I would like to talk about today. You see, in the recording, Mike mentions the fact that there are some people who don't want to believe that there ever was a problem between God and man. And he says, but if you want to deal with the whole issue of God, and you want to do it scripturally, that means through the scriptures, and the scriptures being the law, the Psalms, and the prophets from the Old Testament, everything leading up to Jesus himself. He said, if you want to resolve this problem scripturally, then you have to see that throughout those scriptures there was a problem between God and man. Now, God also promised that he would take care of the problem, but it started with one man. And Mike had to explain this to start with because the gospel is about one man, and Mike was about to explain this one man doctrine. You see, the scriptures start in Genesis. That's the very first book of the scriptures, and it very quickly gets to the problem that God had with man, and that was the fall of Adam. That was Adam's sin. See, this was a problem because God intended for them to multiply the earth, so he needed to have a plan to fix this problem, which he did. He already did, but the way he needed to fix it was through the one-man doctrine. He decided to take Adam's sin and literally freeze it and impute it to all of his offspring. So he therefore, by imputing sin to all of Adam's offspring, in other words to all of mankind, he made all of mankind, all the nations of the world, guilty and vicariously liable for what Adam did. And that's how he was going to undo it. See, in the covenant of Abraham, when Abraham believed, this was the old covenant, this was the first testament, so to speak, and in that covenant was the promise that God made in covenant with Abraham because he believed, he accredited it to him as righteousness, and what Abraham believed was that God was going to bring his Holy One, the Savior, so to speak, through his seed, and through that Holy One, all of the nations of the earth would be blessed. So all the nations of the earth are actually all the generations of Adam, and Genesis says all the generations of Adam had a name, and it was the name of all the generations was Adam. So we have a last Adam who's going to appear on the scene, and that will be the Holy One who comes through Abraham's seed. And God said a few things in the Old Testament as to what that Holy One would do. See, when the Redeemer comes, when the Savior comes, when the Holy One, the seed of Abraham, when he comes, he's going to fulfill and end that old covenant and establish a new covenant. God called that new covenant a covenant of peace, and that was in Isaiah. God also said that when he comes, that he would end sin, and that's in the book of Daniel. And he also said that he would take away sin or iniquity in one day. And then the old covenant would be fulfilled, it would be ended, it would be abolished. The covenant of believing that came through Abraham would be abolished and no longer, and a new covenant of peace would be established. So the story in a nutshell is that the problem with man started with one man, Adam. And the genius in God's salvation plan from that very second on, and before that actually from the foundations of the world, was he would take that one sin of Adam, make that the only thing he has to deal with by imputing it to all the generations of Adam, meaning making them guilty and vicariously liable for what Adam did. And then God would fix the entire problem by becoming Adam, the last Adam, and all who were dead in the first Adam, which was all the generations of Adam, which was everybody, all of them would vicariously die with the last Adam and be raised to life, a new creation, no longer of the corruptible seed of the first Adam, but of the incorruptible seed of the last Adam, thereby destroying sin, ending the old covenant, and creating a new covenant of peace in which all people are raised to life, perfected, incorruptible. That is the one-man story, the one-man doctrine in a nutshell. That is the gospel. And the gospel is the good news, an announcement, just an announcement, that covenant of peace has come. That old covenant of believing and law, that old covenant was fulfilled and abolished, and the new covenant is peace towards all men from God. So if you haven't listened to the Powercast already, I've posted a link down below this video for you to click on that link so you can listen to the full story the way Mike tells it. And also, that was the beginning of, and it was the foundation for literally the book One, the Gospel According to Mike. And I will put that down below this YouTube video also. You need to read the book. So that's it, folks. That was your weekend video. And if you like it, please click on the little YouTube button that's on the bottom of this frame. Go to the YouTube page and click thumbs up for like, or click thumbs down if you didn't like it. Let me know if you liked it or didn't, either way. And if you haven't subscribed already, please click on the subscribe button below the video on the YouTube page itself. And have a good week.